A mother notices troubling changes in her young daughter's behavior. Unexplained secrets, hidden truths, and a mysterious limp led her down a path she never imagined. What is happening behind closed doors, and how far will a mother go to protect her child? Watch until the end to uncover the chilling truth. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Sophia sat at the small kitchen table, stirring her tea slowly as the morning sun streamed gently through the half-open curtains. It was unusually quiet, a strange stillness hanging heavily around the house. Normally, by this time, her 12-year-old daughter, Aisha, would be rushing around, gathering her things from madrasa, humming softly as she moved about, but this morning was different. Today, Sophia felt uneasy, a strange anxiety gnawing gently at the edge of her thoughts. Her mind drifted back over the past few days, recalling the changes she had noticed in Aisha. Sophia had always been a proud mother, raising Aisha on her own since her husband passed away several years earlier. They lived modestly but happily in their small home, and Sophia cherished the bond she shared with her daughter. Aisha was an exceptionally bright child, full of laughter and curiosity. Yet lately, something was different. The girl, who once rushed eagerly to madrasa each morning, now found every possible excuse to avoid it. Sophia tried to convince herself it was simply fatigue, perhaps a phase common for children her age. Yet, deep down, she sensed it was something more. It was the small, almost imperceptible things that first raised alarm bells. Sophia noticed how Aisha began spending more and more time alone in her room, locking her door whenever she was inside. Initially, Sophia had brushed it off as a sign of growing independence, thinking perhaps her daughter wanted some privacy. But gradually, it became clear something more significant was occurring. This morning, as Sophia sipped her tea in a quiet reflection, she watched carefully when Aisha emerged from her room. The first thing that struck her was the noticeable limp in her daughter's walk. Aisha moved slowly, gingerly stepping onto her left foot, trying to mask her obvious discomfort. Sophia felt her heart twist painfully as she watched her daughter struggle across the room. "Aisha," she gently called out, setting her tea down carefully. "Are you hurt, sweetheart?" The young girl paused briefly, startled by her mother's voice. She hesitated, eyes darting nervously around the room before she forced a small, strained smile onto her face. "I'm okay, Mama," Aisha murmured, looking away quickly. "Just slept awkwardly, that's all." Sophia nodded slowly, choosing not to press further, though her worry only intensified. Throughout breakfast, she watched her daughter carefully, noticing that Aisha avoided eye contact and barely touched her food. The girl, who once chatted endlessly about her friends and classes at madrasa, now sat quietly, shoulders hunched, seeming to carry some invisible weight. After breakfast, Sophia watched helplessly as Aisha refused again to go to madrasa, claiming she was too tired. It was unlike her daughter to shy away from learning, especially religious studies, which she loved so much. Yet lately, these excuses had become frequent and disturbing. As Aisha slipped quietly back into her room, locking the door behind her, Sophia sat frozen, a heavy sense of dread settling deep within her chest. Determined to find answers, Sophia gently knocked on her daughter's locked door later that afternoon. Aisha opened it just a crack, peering out cautiously, her expression guarded and tense. "Can we talk for a minute, Aisha?" Sophia asked softly, her voice filled with warmth and concern. Aisha hesitated, biting her lower lip nervously, before finally stepping aside to allow her mother inside. Sophia glanced around the tidy bedroom, noticing nothing unusual at first glance. Yet, as they spoke, her eyes fell upon an unfamiliar dress carefully folded on the edge of Aisha's bed. It was beautiful and clearly expensive, far beyond what Sophia could afford. "Where did you get that dress, Aisha?" Sophia inquired gently, forcing her voice to remain calm and non-accusatory. Aisha's eyes widened briefly, panic flickering across her face before she regained composure. "It was a gift, Mama," she mumbled quickly, staring intently at her feet. "A friend from Madrasa gave it to me." Sophia frowned slightly, the explanation sounding vague and hurried. She didn't recall Aisha ever mentioning any new friends recently, particularly ones who would give such extravagant gifts. Her instincts screamed at her that something wasn't right, yet she held her tongue, deciding to remain watchful instead. Days passed slowly, and the disturbing changes in Aisha became increasingly apparent. Her secretive behavior intensified. Her limp remained consistent, and she consistently refused to discuss her discomfort or attend madrasa. Sophia, burdened with worry, quietly shared her concerns with Aunt Rashida, a family friend whose wisdom she greatly valued. The older woman listened attentively as Sophia described the changes in her daughter. Rashida's face grew solemn, and her eyes filled with deep compassion and concern. "Sophia, listen carefully," Rashida finally said, placing a comforting hand on Sophia's shoulder. "You must stay vigilant. Aisha is at an age where many dangers lurk unseen. Watch her closely. Notice the smallest changes and ask questions. Trust your instincts. They're telling you something is wrong." Rashida's words echoed continuously in Sophia's mind as she became increasingly watchful, trying discreetly to understand her daughter's altered behavior. One afternoon, while cleaning Aisha's room, she discovered a large sum of money hidden beneath her daughter's pillow. Her pulse quickened instantly, confusion flooding her mind. She had never given Aisha this money, and she knew her daughter hadn't earned it through any task she'd been aware of. When confronted gently about the money, Aisha gave another rushed and defensive explanation, claiming she'd earned it by tutoring younger children. Sophia felt a profound unease at the ease with which her daughter lied, the once unshakable trust between them now crumbling. Her doubts deepened, creating a painful distance that neither mother nor daughter seemed able to bridge. Unable to ignore her suspicions any longer, Sophia decided to pay even closer attention. Each evening, she stayed awake later, quietly noting Aisha's movements. Her daughter spent hours alone in her locked room, and Sophia worried endlessly about what might be occurring behind that closed door. The once open and loving girl she knew had become a stranger, hiding secrets from her own mother. Sophia felt increasingly isolated as she tried to unravel the growing mystery surrounding her daughter's life. The secrecy, the limp, the new clothes, and the hidden money all painted a troubling picture that haunted her sleepless nights. Her heart ached with sorrow, guilt, and anxiety as she desperately tried to connect with her daughter, but each attempt only seemed to push Aisha further away. One quiet evening, as Sophia sat alone, Aunt Rashida's advice returned sharply to her thoughts. She realized she could no longer afford to wait, hoping things would improve on their own. She had to act to confront the troubling changes that had overtaken her daughter's life. The bond between mother and daughter, once strong and unwavering, was now fragile and uncertain, threatened by hidden truths and growing distrust. As Sophia resolved firmly to uncover the painful secrets haunting Aisha, she felt a renewed determination rising within her, mixing with a profound sorrow at what she might discover. Deep down, she understood that their lives were about to change forever, though she had no idea just how deeply and irrevocably. Sophia felt the weight of her growing suspicions pressing heavily on her heart, making each passing day more difficult than the last. Aisha's limp hadn't improved, nor had her increasingly secretive and withdrawn behavior. Sophia noticed her daughter locking herself in her room more often, carefully avoiding conversations and visibly shying away from any physical contact or help. This painful transformation of her sweet, open-hearted child into someone distant and mysterious haunted Sophia relentlessly, leaving her desperate for answers. One afternoon, while Sophia anxiously pondered these troubling changes, there was a loud knock at the door. Sophia opened it to find her sister-in-law, Shayana, standing on the doorstep. Sophia had always maintained a polite but somewhat cautious relationship with Shayana, who was known in their extended family as a woman of questionable motives. Today, Shayana's bright smile and strangely confident demeanor immediately raised Sophia's suspicions. Without hesitation, Shayana stepped inside and made herself comfortable on the living room sofa. After exchanging polite pleasantries, Shayana wasted no time revealing the shocking reason for her unexpected visit. "Sophia," she began calmly, a peculiar gleam in her eyes, "I came today to propose marriage for Aisha to my son, Foran." Sophia stared at her sister-in-law, stunned, certain she had misunderstood the outrageous suggestion. Her voice trembled with disbelief as she repeated, "Marriage? You want my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, to marry your son?" Shayana remained strangely calm, leaning forward with a calculated composure. "Yes," she continued smoothly, "I know it might seem unusual, but it could truly benefit both our families. You know our financial struggles, Sophia. This marriage would ease our burdens." Sophia felt a surge of protective fury rising within her, her voice growing firm with resolve. "Absolutely not. Aisha is still a child. How could you even suggest such a thing?" Despite Sophia's strong rejection, Shayana showed no signs of relenting. Instead, she smiled confidently, undisturbed by Sophia's anger. "Think about it carefully," she said, her tone filled with a troubling certainty. "Aisha might surprise you with her own opinions on the matter." Shaken by the exchange, Sophia quickly ushered her sister-in-law out, promising nothing more than consideration she knew she would never offer. After closing the door, Sophia felt physically ill, her heart heavy with fear for Aisha. Yet, even worse than Shayana's suggestion was the disturbing thought that Aisha might actually agree. The mere possibility terrified her. Determined to reassure herself, Sophia immediately went to speak to Aisha, hoping desperately her daughter would react with the same outrage she herself felt. Yet, when Sophia shared the troubling proposal, she was completely taken aback by Aisha's unsettlingly calm reaction. Her daughter listened without surprise or shock, quietly absorbing the information, her eyes revealing a troubling acceptance. "Mama," Aisha said finally, her voice alarmingly steady and mature, "maybe marriage wouldn't be so bad. I could take care of myself, tutor children, manage a household. I'm not as young as you think." Sophia felt her heart breaking at her daughter's words, each sentence shattering the fragile illusions she desperately clung to. The maturity, calmness, and readiness Aisha displayed in discussing marriage terrified Sophia more than Shayana's initial proposal ever could have. Something terribly wrong had happened. Something had changed Aisha deeply, stripping her of childhood innocence and leaving her disturbingly prepared to accept adult responsibilities. Sophia sat frozen, her eyes brimming with tears, wondering how she had missed these dangerous shifts within her own daughter. The girl, who had once giggled freely, played innocently with friends, and studied joyfully at madrasa, now spoke like an adult, burdened with responsibilities she shouldn't yet comprehend. Each word from Aisha's lips was another devastating blow, revealing a darkness that Sophia had refused, until now, to see clearly. That night, sleep evaded Sophia entirely. She lay awake, haunted by images of Aisha's quiet acceptance, tormented by what this sudden maturity implied. Unable to bear the uncertainty any longer, Sophia resolved firmly to confront her daughter once more. Early the following morning, after a tense and nearly silent breakfast, Sophia approached Aisha with renewed determination. "Please, Aisha," Sophia begged softly, taking her daughter's hand in hers. "You must tell me the truth. Why would you even consider marrying Foran? Did someone pressure you into this?" Aisha hesitated, her eyes filled with fear and sadness, the careful mask she had maintained finally beginning to slip. As her mother's pleading gaze searched desperately for answers, the girl's defenses crumbled. Tears streamed down Aisha's cheeks as she whispered, her voice trembling with shame. "Mama, Foran has been hurting me. He forced me to keep it a secret. He told me that no one would believe me." Sophia's world collapsed instantly at Aisha's revelation, each horrifying word hitting her with the force of a physical blow. Her beloved daughter had suffered secretly, enduring pain and abuse, silenced by threats and manipulation. The hidden money, the expensive dresses, the limp, all now made heartbreaking sense. Sophia pulled her daughter into a tight, protective embrace, both mother and child sobbing uncontrollably. "I believe you, Aisha," Sophia assured fiercely, her voice shaking with both grief and determination. "I promise you, this will stop. You will never suffer alone again." Hours later, after comforting her daughter and assuring her that she was safe, Sophia's shock slowly transformed into raw anger. The betrayal by Shayana and Foran was an unforgivable violation of trust and family bonds. Driven by fierce maternal instinct, Sophia knew she had no choice but to confront them directly, no matter the consequences. Sophia's first action was to seek counsel from the respected elder in their community, known to everyone simply as the elder. As she recounted the heartbreaking details of her daughter's ordeal, the elder listened gravely, his face lined with sorrow and determination. "You have my full support," he assured firmly, his voice carrying the weight of moral authority. "Justice will be served. No child should endure such pain." Strengthened by his backing, Sophia felt emboldened to challenge the ones who had harmed her child. She reached out immediately to Shayana, insisting on a meeting, ready to face them with the devastating truth Aisha had revealed. The meeting took place at Sophia's house, under the watchful presence of the elder. When confronted with Aisha's confession, Shayana initially tried to deny everything, feigning shock and disbelief. However, as the elder's piercing gaze bore into her, Shayana's facade cracked, her confident demeanor collapsing into shameful silence. The horrifying truth became impossible to ignore, the evidence of abuse undeniable. Sophia, trembling with suppressed rage, addressed Shayana directly, her voice sharp and resolute. "You tried to force my daughter into marriage to cover up Foran's crimes. You have betrayed your own family and destroyed the innocence of a child. This ends today. Foran will face justice, and I will ensure Aisha is protected." Shayana, defeated and cornered, had no choice but to admit her complicity, her shame evident. The elder's presence guaranteed that justice would be pursued fully and openly, despite any attempts to silence or intimidate Sophia. As the confrontation concluded, Sophia returned to Aisha, holding her closely, promising again that she would always believe, protect, and stand beside her. She knew their journey towards healing would be long and challenging, yet she was unwavering in her determination to help her daughter reclaim her innocence and rebuild their shattered trust. Sophia and Aisha's lives had changed forever, but in this moment of darkness, a new resolve was born. Sophia now understood the immense courage required to face painful truths head-on, and she vowed to always be vigilant, never again allowing harm to come unseen into her daughter's life. Together, mother and daughter stood bravely, ready to rebuild from the ruins, determined never to be silenced again. In the days following the painful revelation, Sophia found herself navigating waves of grief, guilt, and determination. Every waking moment was dominated by thoughts of her daughter, Aisha, and the devastating truths that had come to light. The protective instinct that had always guided her now burned fiercely within her, igniting a strength she never realized she possessed. Her resolve to secure justice for Aisha was unshakable, and she knew that confronting Shayana and Foran was only the beginning of a challenging journey. The entire community was soon buzzing with news of the shocking events, and whispers began spreading rapidly. While some offered sympathy and support, others viewed the revelation with skepticism or disbelief, forcing Sophia to grapple not only with the emotional turmoil at home, but also with the painful judgment and criticism from outside. Despite this, Sophia drew strength from those who genuinely stood by her, particularly the elder, whose unwavering support bolstered her courage immensely. Sophia wasted no time moving forward with legal action against Foran, understanding clearly that the journey ahead would be demanding and fraught with difficulties. With the elder's guidance, she filed a formal complaint, determined that justice for Aisha would not remain merely symbolic. Though the process was emotionally exhausting, Sophia remained resolute, attending meetings with local authorities, providing evidence, and recounting every painful detail as necessary to build a solid case. Through it all, Sophia maintained a constant, vigilant presence by Aisha's side. The bond between mother and daughter, though severely tested, slowly began healing through honest conversations, shared tears, and unwavering love. Aisha's courage in speaking openly about her experiences strengthened Sophia's resolve even further, fueling her determination to ensure that no child in their community would suffer in silence again. Meanwhile, Shayana, isolated and disgraced, faced intense scrutiny from both family and community. Publicly exposed, she attempted to retreat into silence, yet the gravity of her complicity and betrayal weighed heavily upon her. Eventually, under pressure from the elder and community leaders, Shayana publicly admitted her wrongdoing, acknowledging the role she played in concealing her son's crimes. Though her admission could not erase the damage done, it represented a significant victory for Sophia and Aisha, reinforcing their pursuit of justice and truth. Throughout the legal proceedings, the community gradually rallied around Sophia and Aisha, recognizing the significance of their bravery in confronting abuse openly. Initially, hesitant neighbors began visiting Sophia's home to offer quiet words of encouragement, apologies for initial doubts, and promises of future vigilance. Sophia felt deeply moved by these gestures, realizing that Aisha's pain, though unbearable, was creating a positive shift in awareness and support among their community members. Months passed, each day bringing small yet meaningful progress in both the legal case and their emotional healing. The day finally arrived when Foran was brought before the court, facing charges that reflected the severity of his actions. Sophia and Aisha attended the proceedings together, their hearts pounding with anxiety yet buoyed by their strength and determination. As the verdict was pronounced and Foran was held accountable, Sophia felt a profound relief mixed with deep sorrow, aware that no punishment could fully repair what her daughter had suffered. Despite the legal victory, Sophia understood that true healing would require far more than a courtroom verdict. She made sure Aisha received consistent emotional support and counseling, prioritizing her daughter's mental and physical recovery above all else. Slowly, she watched Aisha begin to reclaim pieces of her childhood, finding joy again in simple activities like reading, drawing, and eventually returning cautiously to madrasa, supported and protected by teachers aware of her experiences. As their lives began regaining a sense of stability, Sophia and Aisha became increasingly active in raising awareness about abuse in their community. They courageously shared their story, emphasizing the importance of vigilance, open communication, and believing children who speak out. Their voices became powerful tools for change, prompting other families to reevaluate their own vigilance and engagement with their children's emotional lives. One evening, as Sophia prepared dinner, she paused to watch Aisha sitting at their small table, quietly working through her madrasa assignments. The gentle, familiar scene brought unexpected tears to Sophia's eyes, a poignant reminder of all they had endured and overcome together. Though painful memories remained, Sophia recognized the resilience in her daughter's spirit and felt immense pride in the brave young girl who had survived so much. That same evening, after dinner, they received a visit from Aunt Rashida. She embraced Sophia warmly, her eyes filled with pride and compassion. "You have both been incredibly brave," she said gently, holding Sophia's hand tightly. "Your courage has shown everyone how important it is to protect our daughters and never ignore warning signs. You've changed our community for the better." Sophia felt profound gratitude at Rashida's words, understanding fully the significance of what they had accomplished. While their journey had been devastatingly painful, the outcome had strengthened not only their bond as mother and daughter, but also raised vital awareness that would protect countless other children from similar harm. As the months turned into a year, Sophia and Aisha continued rebuilding their lives together, forever changed but deeply united in love and trust. Sophia watched proudly as Aisha blossomed again, confident and increasingly outspoken about her experiences, helping other girls find their voices and strength to speak out. Their home, once shadowed by secrets and pain, became a sanctuary for openness, healing, and empowerment. Ultimately, Sophia realized that despite the agonizing pain of what they had endured, their story had become one of hope and transformation. She had learned profoundly about the power of listening carefully, believing children, and acting courageously. Though she would always carry sorrow for what Aisha suffered, she also found immense pride in how bravely they both fought back, creating positive change from devastating circumstances. On quiet evenings, when shadows lengthened softly across their small home, Sophia would hold her daughter close, grateful for the resilience and courage they had found within each other. The darkness that had threatened their bond had ultimately strengthened it, transforming them into advocates whose voices would protect and guide countless others. Their journey, once defined by silence and suffering, now stood as a powerful testament to the enduring strength of love, vigilance, and the unwavering courage to seek truth and justice. Thank you for watching until the end. If this story touched you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay connected. Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.